Welcome back to another video in the HTML tutorial series. In this video, we'll learn how to embed an image in a web page. If we go to the image tag page on W3 Schools, we'll see that an image tag is used to embed an image in a web page. Images aren't technically inserted into a web page, they're actually linked into web pages. So the image tag creates a holding space or a container for the referenced image to be displayed in. And the image element has two required attributes: a source, which points to the image that we want to link to, and an alt attribute, which specifies alternate text for the image if the image were not able to be displayed on the page for some reason. For example, if we were to copy this code and go back to our HTML document and paste it in under the heading, then save the file and visit the page in the browser, we'll see that the image actually isn't displayed, but we see the alternate text. That's because the link to the image is to a file named img_girl.jpg, but we don't have that file in our current folder. So because the image can't be displayed in the container, the alt text is displayed in its place. For our page, what we can do is go out to the Wikipedia site, and we could grab this image and include it in our web page. In order to do this, I'll right-click the image, select Save Image As, and then download the image to my desktop. Now I have a local copy of this image in my desktop folder. But in order to use it in my index.html file, I really need the image to be in my project folder. So I'll take the image from the desktop and drag it into the HTML folder. And when I do this, we'll see that the image is now listed with the index.html file. And in order to be consistent with case sensitivity on the Mac, I'll rename this file to be lowercase with dashes and change the extension to JPEG. Now I can reference the Solar System JPEG file in an image tag in our HTML file. So let's do that now. We'll modify the source attribute of the image tag to point to the Solar System JPEG and change the alt text to Solar System, and we could get rid of the width and height attributes and make this tag self-closing. Now if we revisit the browser, we'll see our Solar System image. The last thing I'd like to do in this video is to move the Solar System image into its own folder. When we're building web pages, we're primarily dealing with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and images. And we like to have separation of concerns, where when we're writing our code, we like to have HTML syntax in the HTML file. When we look at CSS, cascading style sheets, we like to have our CSS in an external CSS file, which will link into the index.html file. And we also like to keep our images in their own folders. So I'll create a new folder. I'll name it image or IMG, and then I'll move the Solar System image into that folder. Now, because we're using a live server, a change was detected and the page was reloaded, and we no longer see the image, we see the alt text. So we need to go back to our code and reference the path to the image file, which we now know is in the IMG, the image folder. So in the source attribute, I'll start with the folder and a / to the Solar System JPEG file. If I save this and go back to the browser, I see our image once again. Later in the tutorial series, when we're working with CSS, we'll learn how to apply styles to change the location and size of our image. But the next video in our tutorial series will look at HTML attributes like ID and class, as well as CSS selectors.